Hello and welcome to Run SDJ. Now today I want to talk about a subject that impacts me, and that is mental health, and more specifically how it affects me and my running. Recently I've had a big dive in motivation to run, but I've also managed to pull myself back out of that hole and really started to enjoy my running again. First, I wanted to give a bit of background about my running and also this channel. I gradually found my way into running back in 2013, the same way many others have through parkrun. It is, unlike other sports I've done throughout my life, being something that I feel that I'm not that bad at. Running has been one of, if not the best things I've taken up as a hobby in my life. I've stuck at it for 11 years now and counting, and it's certainly brought me many more highs than it has lows. In spite of my advancing years, I continue to feel I'm still getting better at it. So I launched this channel earlier this year as a hobby. Putting myself in front of a camera was very much against my natural personality type. I wanted to break outside of my comfort zone and try to align some of my enjoyment of running with some of my other creative interests and give me an outlet to talk about running and, most importantly, have some fun. I wouldn't have achieved anywhere near what I have this year as a runner if it wasn't for this channel and my pursuit of trying to make fun and interesting videos. In my videos, I always try to be honest, and hopefully I cover when I'm feeling good during a run, as well as I'm feeling not so good, and at times I might have put a bit too much pressure on myself to take on challenges and to make videos. But essentially, after some honest conversations with close friends or family, I get brought back to the foundation of why I make videos, and sometimes if I need to take some time away, I need to remind myself that that is fine. So today I wanted to talk about a recent experience where poor mental health has got in the way of my running pleasure. For anyone who follows my running adventures on here, on Instagram or on Strava, you'll know that in early September I did my first marathon over in Gothenburg in Sweden. As an achievement, it was probably one of the hardest but proudest things I've ever done in my life. But after the dust settled on that achievement, I hit a bit of a brick wall. After the marathon during September, I got out and ran occasionally, mainly thanks to a holiday at a sports resort and its organised group runs. But that aside, I'd lost my desire and my why that I run. I sold my place in a couple of organised runs because I had zero motivation to do them. I kept my place in a couple that I thought I might enjoy. Rather than training for these events, I had hoped and relied on still having enough conditioning from marathon training to carry me through, and fortunately it did. But I didn't give myself any real stretching personal goals. As the days have got shorter, I continued to feel lost, and my motivation to run on colder, darker weekday evenings was definitely not there. Like many who struggle with mental health, the winter months can be hard. This further compounded my issues, and it's when I started to try and make a little bit more sense about how I was feeling. In the lead up to the Gothenburg Marathon, I followed a training plan for the first time in my life. It had given me structure and, to a degree, accountability, if only to myself. I had gotten so used to a plan telling me what to do that it took the thought process out of it for me. If the plan told me to do something, come rain or shine, I did it. I trusted the process and it got me across the finish line. I had also just done a marathon, something only a year or so ago I thought I would never want or be able to do. So having achieved that goal, I'd surpassed any running goal I ever thought I would, and I was feeling a little bit lost. But running isn't something I'd ever done for accolades. When I completed my first ever parkrun back in 2013, at that point it was my greatest running achievement. I didn't stop running, I went back the next week and the week after that. Its regularity and structure kept me running and returning. So having come to the realization that I needed to put some structure back into my running, the next question was how. I'd recently watched a running channel video where presenter James had used features built into his watch to follow an adaptive training plan to try and get himself a new 10k personal best. As I said earlier, up until the Gothenburg Marathon, I had never followed a plan, just ran a few times a week. This was normally a 5k, a 7 to 8k, and a progressively longer run. I'd never incorporated different types of running until I was introduced to them through my marathon plan. I realised that I had those same features on my watch and thought it could be a solution to get me out of my rut. So first, I needed to set a goal. I wasn't ready mentally to commit to another endurance event like a marathon, but earlier this year I ended a 7-year wait to run a 5k in under 21 minutes. Not only that, I'd somehow managed to get closer to sub 20 minutes than sub 21 minutes. This was down to no training plan, just a dogged determination to max out my parkrun every Saturday, and my times slowly started to get faster and faster. Through parkrun, 5k has become the distance I am most familiar with, and when I started it in 2013 and saw where I was with my times, I always dreamed of going under 20 minutes. So in mid-October, I decided to set a goal to try and run a sub 20-minute 5k. I picked an arbitrary date in late November, short enough to keep me interested, but long enough for me to get back into a habit and a routine. This gave me 5 weeks until my self-assigned race day. I'll go more into the training plan and the setup in a different video, but I'm now 4 weeks into the 5-week plan and I've definitely got my running mojo back. Similarly to my marathon training, this plan has given me variety and purpose in my runs, which keeps things interesting. It has introduced me to more styles of running, some of which are completely new to me. I've also run for 18 of the last 28 days and ran for 5 days straight in what I think is the first time in my life. It's a complete turnaround from weeks prior, where outside of parkrun, sometimes I wasn't getting out at all, or perhaps only once a week. Come race day, if I don't achieve my goal, I will of course be disappointed, but there'll always be next week. So thanks for watching, and hopefully my story might have resonated with some of you who might also have been struggling with running motivation. Let me know in the comments about your experience and what you've done to try and overcome them. And if you've liked this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully see how my training has gone and if I achieve my goal. But until then, I'll see you next time. See ya.